What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm not wearing my usual t-shirt, but don't worry, I'm gonna wear it eventually in the future, so don't you worry about that. It's just taking a rest, pretty much being washed. But anyway, guys, fairly interesting and important video about the canon of Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, the Dragon Ball Z. I wanted to make this video and I actually saw a post by Geekdom 101. If you guys don't know this guy, he is pretty much one of the biggest gurus on YouTube about Dragon Ball in general. Like, he talks a lot about manga, a lot about anime, not that much about games. He just focuses on the kind of manga anime bit. This guy just put a post and I'm gonna read it for you guys because it just makes it just clarifies lots of the misconceptions people have about Dragon Ball, and also for Kakarot, because many people are saying that, oh no, this is only for Dragon Ball Z, there's not gonna be any super content, or like, no, it's not the case, right? So because pretty much like Dragon Ball Z canon is actually more smaller than you think. So let's read this post because I absolutely loved it. So it says the following: I'm going to eventually make a video about this, but I'll just post it here as a short teaser. I don't like the topic of canon because 90% of the fandom gets it wrong. Toriyama has never once used the word in any interview he's ever made. Period. Toei has not either. Shueisha began using it as a marketing ploy in 2018 to promote Gogeta in Broly. I'll go into way more detail on the video and for the video for Geekdom. So I just want to say this: Toriyama was very loosely involved in the Super anime, very loosely involved. It was Toei and Shueisha who did pretty much all of it, and Toriyama gave them very loose guidelines and bullet points. The manga is Toyo and Toriyama, but with the Moro arc, Toriyama is more of a consultant than a lead writer. Okay, very important. The only true canon is the original 42 volumes of the manga from 1984 to 1995, from Pilaf to Buu. That's it. To Majin Buu, that is pretty much it. Toriyama and his team of editors crafted the entire story with virtually no corporate input, and he drew every single page, every fight, every piece of dialogue. That is the one true canon, and even though Toriyama was involved in other projects, he finished his story in 1995. Everything else is either secondary canon, not canon at all, or just extra stuff. This includes the video games, of course. This is the simplest and most authentic way to live at this. We need to stop debating these things and spreading false information. So this ties in very importantly with Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, and of course the kind of like the content we're gonna get, because this is why, guys, this is why we are going to get content which is not canon, because the actual pure canon of Dragon Ball Z is already been put in the game. So Dragon Ball Z starts from the Saiyan Saga to the Buu Saga, and that's it, that's the end. So all canon is already there, so any additional content we're gonna get for the game is non-canon, at all, right? This is completely outside, secondary, separate, right? So because of that, getting additional content such as, for example, Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Super, I don't know, like Super Dragon Ball Heroes, whatever, like any, like Mira and Toa, right? This is why we are getting all this stuff, because this stuff is already not even part of the canon, and an anime kind of adapts the manga, so to say, right? So the manga or the anime is adapted in the game in Kakarot to the point of Buu, but from there on, literally the creators, or better said, the developers of the game, have any freedom to put in whatever they want. So because of that, the door is open for additional content, which is just not just the Kakarot. Of course, this could imply, of course, getting the GT. This could imply we could be getting additional content. I'm gonna actually make a video about the movie characters. I don't want to make in this video because I don't want to make this video too long, pretty much. But in that video, we're going to talk about the fact that getting the movie characters in Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is going to be now, at this particular point in time, a bit more unlikely. Okay, just because of the stuff that I have announced for the game. For example, the super content. But for the actual additional content DLC, so this is super important because this kind of post kind of clarifies a lot of stuff which people don't understand about Kakarot, for example. Just because it says Kakarot, it doesn't mean that it's only gonna have Dragon Ball Z canon content. The canon content is already in the game. That's it. There's nothing more to add, right? Anything else, even the movies like the Resurrection of F, the Dragon Ball Z Super, Battle of Gods, all of that is not even canon, so to say, in the word original canon, because it wasn't written by Akira Toriyama. Akira Toriyama stopped at Buu. Everything after Buu is literally secondary. It's not part of the canon. It's something that exists, of course, in the universe of Dragon Ball, but it does not come from the mind of Akira Toriyama. He did not write it by himself. He just gave ideas, like I said, bullet points, consulted. He kind of gave his opinion on something he wanted to like include or whatever, but he was not the mastermind behind these productions, right? And because of that, getting content which is not going to be canon is going to happen, because the content is already non-canon anyway. Like even the Super Saiyan God is not canon, Super Saiyan Blue, not canon. Super Saiyan, I don't know, Blue Kaioken, right, is not canon. None of this is actually canon in Dragon Ball Z. The word canon purely for Dragon Ball Z refers to the kind of the, like I said before, the manga, the 42 volumes of manga which were written by Akira Toriyama by himself, by hand, page by page. That is it. That is pretty much it. So hopefully this video kind of helps clarify the meaning of canon, and also for Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, why the content we are already getting and we will be getting with the DLC 2, with the DLC 3 potentially, which is going to be maybe the story of Future Trunks, or maybe the tournament of Destroyer of Universe 6. All of that is already outside the canon. That's already secondary or tertiary or pretty much non-canonical content. So because of that, don't get crazy, guys, because like I said before, I see many people saying that, you know, like, oh, we're only gonna get canon content, we're not gonna get super content. That doesn't say anything, because they can do whatever the heck they want, because canon content is already being produced. Canon content was already in the game and it's been finished, and once you finish Buu, that is the end of the canon. Anything you do after that, of course, is going to be something completely different. Anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this short but informative video on the meaning of canon, and of course in Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, and of course you guys in my next videos. Bye.